Okay, hey everyone. Wanted to give you some more examples of costuming used in fine art and 3D kind of design. Um, so you have a couple different projects where this type of element is possible, and so I want to go through kind of some of the ideas and show you some more examples. You would have just recently watched the Nick Cave video through Art21. And he's, of course, I think just an amazing artist. Uh, but again, a lot of his suits are made through just collecting and finding really interesting, beautiful material to use. So from buttons to sticks to things he's found in different garage sales or secondhand stores. He's just collected them. So you can see a lot of repetition is very important in his work. Using the multiples of one color, one element over and over again to create this kind of really interesting and beautiful aesthetic. And then, of course, the sound that is emanated from the suits also is just absolutely kind of magical. Um, and so while this style is not necessarily something that we can do right now and is quite hard, it takes weeks, months, even years to just collect this type of material and then to make the decisions, of course, of how to use it. You, of course, need space and time. Um, but I think as far as illustrating some kind of examples and giving you some ideas, I think all of these examples in the slideshow will kind of help, hopefully, kind of give you some ideas to help along. Again, you'll have some different themes as far as what you're working towards. And again, in one of the projects, we talk about social distancing, which is, of course, a very important thing right now. But the idea of keeping 6 feet away from people, and how is that done? Is it done just by you physically walking, or can we create something that extends off of the body in a way that actually physically makes people stay 6 feet away? Or does our costume again start to talk about what we go through as far as the virus right now in COVID? And how do we do that? I mean, a lot can be referenced to things we just collect at home. Amazon, obviously, is just Amazon or even Walmart are huge impacts on our kind of society right now, and the fact that they're go-tos as far as consumption, being able to order things and have them arrive to your home. So like Instacart, and being able to do that. And of course, that's not accessible to everyone, but if you're able to do that and to spend that money, then you are. But that said, there's all kinds of materials that come from out of that you can collect and use. So I just want to look through here again. I repeat cardboard over and over again as a principal material, just because you can do so many things with it. And it's versatile, it's free, it's pretty easy to cut and mold even. So like this is just a humorous example, but here of course someone made like a pencil as a hat, and their body is the paper. So really kind of interesting, but again really simple here as far as material, right? That's like a cardboard for the pencil, 2 colors of paint, it looks like, and then just some poster board or for the piece of paper. Then you can see things that start to become a little bit more complicated as far as their design. Here, a mixture of both cardboard and then light, like packing paper, brown paper, cardboard, both as like craft paper essentially. And then we see some like string used in here to hold some of the tentacles up and around. Again, playful and fun. Here, a kind of shark alligator or alligator thing. But again, everything is made of cardboard. Here, again, some time was definitely spent interweaving and creating this texture on the back for the alligator here. To much more sculptural. Now, this is just like paper, paper and fabric. But this is a little bit more conceptual, right? We have something that's kind of pillowy and puffy. It hangs off one side of the body. It's a cross between art and fashion. And it's quite unique and beautiful. But this again starts to relate to our projects, and as far as thinking about social distancing. I mean, this protrudes off the body. And again, in our project description, I talk about the fact that it doesn't need to be physically 6 feet, because that's a lot of distance, and I can't expect you all to have that space at home to work. But I do want you to shoot for 3 feet if you can, and so this would meet that criteria. Um, it's again accumulation of just some simple material, but it's put together very beautifully. Um, this could be both an art project, but also on a runway at the same time. Again, humorous and funny. It extends off of the body, it hangs on the body, and it extends from it too. But here, water, water and faucets. So this too, could be something that would relate closer to our kind of projects and themes. But really well crafted and done here. And again, you've seen this technique is what I've already kind of shown you in some of the tutorials. And again, it's just by you are creasing and or scoring the cardboard so that you're not cutting all the way through, and then taking the time just to nicely just kind of mold it so it becomes round. Just geometric shapes, a little bit more stiff and kind of stoic in its presentation, a little bit more like Transformer style. But again, really kind of nice. Again, pattern and repetition is something we definitely think of when looking at this. And again, something that hangs off of the body. A portrait and a bust. So here, again, this is what we would call both planar or like a low poly style, the kind of geometric modeling, 3D modeling. But here, just geometric pieces creating one face. And so one quick note again, I show a mixture of examples. Some are painted, some are not. And so the key element there is that 90% of the ones that are not painted are really well crafted, meaning that the seams come together tight, or that it looks well presented even without paint, that paint is not necessary, paint is not covering something up. And here and in some of the other examples, definitely paint was not necessary. If anything, paint may have taken away from the actual construction of the actual object. So really crafted well here. But Star Wars, robots, more characters, Transformers. And here just again several other examples. These don't all pertain to exactly what we're doing, but as far as the crafting and building, they do very much so. And you see different styles here. Big heads. And in one of our project descriptions, I direct you towards the artist Wayne Wright. Excuse me, Wayne White. He worked on Pee-wee's Playhouse, if you're familiar with who Pee-wee Herman was or is, and created all these amazing characters. But he also does these like great, like huge masks out of cardboard, and these characters, they're fantastic. And these are kind of similar. These are done with a little bit more, it looks like more fiberglass and a little bit more high quality materials. But you can do very similar things with cardboard. Another alligator, kind of magical beast. Again, this is all paper based. You're a little bit more abstract, a little bit more kind of ghoulish or scary too.